Good morning. Welcome to my channel. I'm Cindy, and today we are making journal cards, but we're going to make very little journal cards today. It is a beautiful day here in the Finger Lakes once more. We are a little bit clouded over, but it's not too bad. I hope the light will hold. So these are some journal cards that I have made in the past, and I have to give a shout out to Carrie the Crafter for his lessons on layering. I am learning to layer. These are very large cards, and so they were hard to layer because there was so much surface. But this is for a teal and white journal that I am currently working on, and these are a couple of small cards that I made. They came out all right. Today I am working on very, very small cards. I have a tuck that I want to be using. Let me see if I can find it here. I made this. This is actually my third take trying to do these videos. This is a small place that I made, and there's a place for 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe. There, come on. 4 places for journaling cards, plus a 5th behind it if I choose to put it into the book that way. So there are all these spaces, but they're little spaces. So I wanted to have a couple of little journaling cards because all I have are big ones. So that's what we're doing today. I also have some tiny cards that I thought I would use for tucks, and I was just finishing off making the corners on these. This is a corner rounder I got from Creative Memories almost 20 years ago, and it's still working just fine. So any corner rounder you have will do. This is a good one. Not much for product endorsement, but I have to give credit where credit is due, and that one works well. So I have my list here. This is my idea book. And this list came partly from Carrie the Crafter and partly from my own idea of layering. And I keep it as a list. These are all the layers that you can put onto a journal card. And you start with your base. These are the bases. And then a book page or a dictionary page. For these, I used a piece. I don't know if I have any more of it left. I've kind of been using it. Basically, it's one of these, but not colored. It's one I would never color because it was way too intricate, and I'm just not that much of a colorer. So I used that as a book page from a coloring book instead. But I'm not going to do that because these are so small. I'm afraid if I put the book page on it, I'm going to cover up the marbling that's on these and the wonderful spottedness on these. So I'm not going to go with those. I'm going to go right to the tissue paper because I love tissue paper. I absolutely have been having so much fun with this tissue paper. I have to put my list somewhere so I won't lose it and it won't be in my way. I'll stick it right over here for now. Sorry, my arm is probably getting in the frame. And I am wearing purple today, which kind of fits with these. Okay, before I do that, I don't want too much on those. So let's start with this. We get a little bit of color on that, but not so much so that you can't see the other spots through it. So I have these 3 different types of tissue paper. I think we'll just stick a bunch down and we'll see where it goes. Am I still in frame if I'm over here on my glue book? Yes. I have to peek and see. I have been playing around with the camera angle a little bit, but I'm afraid I have a piece that's not tightening down very well, so my camera's a little tilted oddly today. So I'm not exactly sure where everything is. And I don't mind if okay, that one got bent under, but that's all right. We'll put something over that you won't notice. I like a little bit of tissue paper on things to just kind of give some, I don't know, just a little pizzazz. Just a way of layering things in. So yeah, I have tried to do this video 3 times. No, this is my 3rd time. Both other times things either glitched or I got interrupted. And I'm of the type of person that if I get interrupted in something, getting my train back on the track, my train of thought, is not as easy as it used to be. So I tend to lose where I am and what I'm doing. And so there, I like that. I don't mind if it gets wrinkled because that adds texture to it. This is a dark one, so I want to put a piece of light on it. And I may end up putting light on those as well, but I think only light on this one. Okay, my glue book needs to be turned because I'm getting it all in one spot. And then what happens is that I end up gluing the tissue paper to the glue book, or gluing the tissue paper to itself, as the case may be. I really like using the tissue paper. I think it gives it a neat frosted look while still allowing the pattern underneath to come through. Okay, do I want to add a little bit of, that's might be too much, no? There we go. We'll just throw a little bit of this over the top just to give it some interest. That's what we're looking for, is some interest, so that when you look at the card, you're not just seeing a blank card. You're seeing something interesting. And see, I like how the colors change. That purple will go away in a second. I do have a little bit of a tag here. I will get rid of that because I don't need that piece there. But these are going to be blank on the other side. I don't know if I'm going to put holes in the top yet. I think I will. But the problem I have is that I only have a regular size hole punch. I don't have a little hole punch. Or rather, I kind of do. I have an eyelet maker, and that would sort of do it. But it's very old and it sticks something awful. Sorry, I think I'm out of frame for this one. Okay, and this one I have really kind of goofed up. All right, let's see how this goes. And I don't mind if it goes over the edges because I can cut it off if it goes too far over the edges. And this one I purposely wrinkled in the middle. See, I did go off the edge a little bit, but that's what the scissors are for. There. All right. So that one's done. This one needs a little bit of something. I'm just doing little pieces because these are just little cards. I think sometimes the little pieces of tissue paper are harder to use than the bigger pieces because they don't stay put as well. There we go. All right, so tissue paper is done. I'll put those aside. I have now 4 cards with decorated with tissue paper, and like I said, these are so tiny. I'm a little nervous about doing anything of that sort. These were a much larger card, and I decided I really like the marbling, and I need some little tiny things. I have all these big things. I don't have any little things. So I like little things. And I also don't like to put too much bulk on these because I want them slipping in and out of pockets. And when you do that, it catches. So you really need to be kind of careful with that. All right, next up on my list is stamps. I love this glassine bag. I have these stamps. These are all purple. I got only my purple stamps. These are too bright, so we'll put those back away. And don't worry about the fact that I am using something that might be valuable. It's not. They're not. These are stamps from Captain Tim's Ivory Coast Adventures from the 1930s. late 1930s. It was a promotion that Ivory Snow did. And in that promotion, if you kept your Ivory Snow wrappers from the ivory bars, soap bars, and then you sent them in, for so many wrappers, you'd get so many stamps back. So my mom collected the wrappers and collected a bunch of stamps. Her dad was a philatelist, and he had quite the extensive collection that was worth quite a bit of money. But I looked these up to make sure that I was not accidentally putting something worth hundreds of dollars on a journal card. The highest value on any one of these stamps is 27 cents. So I feel pretty good about using them. I don't mind. These are a little bit dark, but I kind of like that purple in there. Oh, this is a nice purple. Yeah, we'll put that one there. That one's a little off cut. That one might be worth a whole 30 cents. I'm not going to use the one with the cross on it because that's very red, and I don't want that redness in there. Same thing with that one. This one's kind of brown. It's very delicate. This one's from the Philippines. That one's from Spain. This one's from India. That might be too delicate for this particular piece. I have one from Newfoundland with a caribou on it. That's really cool. 5 cents. But I'm going to save that one for a hunting journal. This one I cannot read. It is an Asian language. That might be Vietnamese. I'm not sure. Oh, I like this one. This one is I have no idea what that is. But that might be good on one of these. Because keep in mind, I haven't done these yet either. And this is from Romania. And this one's from Mexico. That one might be a little big. This one is from the Netherlands. I like that it's oriented the other way. Okay, and they don't all need stamps. And you notice I kind of putting them all down at the bottom. This one is another one no, this is the Mexican one. It's just too big. I don't like it on there. It's too big. Okay, so I went through my box of stamps. This was Mom's original box, 6-cent cigars. So that's how old this one is. I had a sticker on here at one point, but this is a really cool old cigar box, and all of my stamps are in it. So I've gone through and I found a couple of others. I have changed my mind on a few, but I will put the purple stamps back now in my box so I don't lose them. All right. So I also have, you notice I have a couple of these. This is a Forever USA stamp. This is also a Forever stamp. That's something the United States Post Office has recently started, well, in the past couple of years. When you buy stamps, they say forever on them. That means that whatever price you paid for them, right now our first class stamps are 50 cents a piece. That rate will never go up for those stamps. I can use those stamps in 50 years and they will still be accepted as a stamp to send. So, I mean, I have Forever stamps that I bought for 40 cents and when it was back down, or 45 cents, whatever it was. And I could use those, but they're up to 50 cents now. So these are 50-cent stamps. This is a 1-cent stamp. This is a 5-cent stamp. That's 5 cents. This one, I have no idea. I can't read it. That's a 10-cent stamp. Or maybe 10, that's from Mexico, so it might be 10 pesos. I can't tell. But this is from India. You know, I was just given a magnifying glass. One of those things. No, still can't figure out what that says. It's 1 something 3 something, but I don't know what that means. So if you know what it means, put it in the comments and let me know what that means. All right, so I have a stamp. I'm not going to glue them down yet because I want to see what else I could put on there. Tickets is also on my list, but again, these are very small. And I don't know that there's a lot of room. This one might have room for a ticket. Would that have room for a ticket? Maybe, but I don't like that ticket. I don't like that ticket either. That's a little better. Okay, so that one has room for a ticket. I'm just a little worried about crowding them too much. And I'm not too worried about composition. Okay, no on that one, maybe on this one. Okay, that's a little bit, because this is a very bright stamp and that may end up being the focal point. So I don't think I want to put too much there. Yeah, okay. And we're not going to put tickets on those because my tickets are bigger than the other piece. All right, let's take a moment and glue those down, and then we will move on. And the sun has come out. It is absolutely beautiful. It is going up into the mid-40s today, which is so unusual for February. Oh, I started to rip it just a little bit. They're very delicate. So let me put that down there. And once I put it down, you won't see the rip. There we go. Yeah, the Finger Lakes area is, we're in New York State. And usually at this time of the year, we're in the 20s or teens. There was one year when we never got above freezing the entire month. But this year has been very, very mild. This winter has been rainy, which is okay because the water table needs replenishing. This one's not sticking as well. There we go. But today's another sunny day. I seem to be picking all sunny days on which to do my filming, and that's not by design. That's by accident. Wish I could take credit for, being that far ahead of myself, but I am not. I've thought about doing some stamping on these, but my concern again is that they're very small. Actually, I'm going to put it over here because that's just white space over here. And that's got some cool gold flecks that I don't think I want to lose. So, yeah, so these Forever stamps are off of mail that I have recently gotten. They are canceled stamps. Obviously, they've got great big lines ahead of them. They're all canceled stamps, and for that matter. But I just cut them off the envelopes. I know some people go through steaming them off or soaking them off. I like how that's together like this. I want to make sure that shows. I like that overlap. That's just a little too much work for me. Oops, this one still has some of these came out of the book because I have the Captain Tim's book. And so the little glassine stickers are still on the back. And I am not keeping those. I have a whole envelope in there in the box of those little tabs. But oh my glory, they are so old and fragile and curled up. So I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to do anything with them except keep them for memory's sake. So that's where they are at the moment. All right, we'll just get the last of these put together. And I'm trying to be very careful and not rip them. And then the glue stick I'm using, and I'm getting glue all over my fingers here now, is the washable school glue. It's disappearing purple, and it really does disappear. You won't see it. As I'm putting it on here, you're probably going, oh my glory, that's so bright. Yeah, well, it doesn't stay. It goes away, which is the point of it. So yeah, you can get your stamps from anywhere. If you take a look at any of the mail that you get, and if there's a stamp on it, cut it out, use it. All right. As far as composition goes, they're pretty close to the same. This is a mass make. I don't know that all of these will actually end up in the journal, but I do know that I need some little ones. All of the other cards that I have I've done all these journal cards lately, and they're all huge. This is from a different set. This was I did a masterboard and then cut it up and made these. So because I have all these really big journal cards, I need some little ones. Okay, what's next on the list? So next, now that we've done, oh, I could have done some washi tape, but again, that's too, there's not enough. I've done stamps, so it looks like I'm up to words or numbers. Let's throw some numbers on here. I have, isn't this a great box? I'll show you, see if I can get that up in the, where are we? Where on earth is my camera? There it is. I can't see my camera. It is hanging above me. But these are Denison's gummed reinforcements. And when I was doing my flowers, no, not my flowers, my Butterflies and Blooms journal, which still is available for sale. I'll put the link down below. That required, or it didn't require it, but I felt better by having some reinforcements on the holes. And I found this box, and they, oh my glory, they were so old, and they had no stick left to them. So I didn't use these. I actually threw those away because they were curled up into little balls and there was no saving them. So those are gone, but the box remains, and I'm loving this little box. I have to get my tweezers though, because these are very, very, there's a large set of numbers, but that's too big for this. There's a clef. And then I have all of these numbers that I have cut out of books. Okay, I can see that one. So this one says 161 on it. I'm actually going to trim it down a little bit more. That was a page number off of something. And then just, well, there's 162 on the other side. And I'm just going to put it here. I got to get my clippers here. This is really more delicate than I am used to. Okay, so let's put that right there. There, success. We have it there. Of course, I'm wearing half the glue. Ugh. I have a towel behind me somewhere. There it is. That I use to just kind of wipe my hands on. If you have an old towel, that's always a good idea, a good thing to keep around, because that gives you a place to wipe your hands. You wouldn't think you would get messy doing this sort of thing. I'm really trying to get this one particular piece. There we go. It has a set of numbers on it. I think we'll go with that one. And if anybody knows of an easier way to do this gluing, I would be thrilled to know what it is, because obviously I am a klutz with it. Okay, and I think we'll stick this one. I already did the cutting on these because I have a tendency to forget, and I go right up to the top. Get rid of the glue on my fingers. Put my tweezers away. Cap off my glue. Put my scissors away. See, I have to do this, put all of this away in between, because if I don't, then I've got everything everywhere. Now, I did get stickers out. Very, very tiny stickers. And I think I am going to try a little bit of stamping. This is a very tiny stamp. It says recommend in, I think, French. It's got an E on it. It's the word recommend with an E on it. If that's not French, let me know. I don't know what it is. Let me grab my inks. They're right here. I have a bunch of other inks, but I think I'm going to use these. I have, where's my purple? There's my purple. I do like, flip these over. I do like this container. It works quite well. All right, so let's go ahead and just put a little bit of stamping on here that isn't obtrusive. Okay, it's a little bit, I'm not sure if I like that, so I may cover it over when I do my next piece. Okay, let's put less ink on there and see what happens. Okay, it's meant to look a little bit off, which is good because it does. All right, I'm going to take that off for a moment, and I'm going to try this stamp. I haven't used this one yet. This says, thankful. I'm going to keep in the same ink. But I'm just not going to put a lot of ink on there. That's one of the nice things about crafting, or what I've been learning about craft. Oh, that came out nice. Okay, yeah, we're going to keep this one. Is that it doesn't really matter if you screw up. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be whatever it is. I'm going to kind of angle that one a little bit to get the whole word in. There we go. That one came out okay. These are so small, they need something really tiny. Do I have something really tiny? I do over here on this pad. I'm afraid I don't know where these stamps came from. I don't remember. I bought a whole pack of them, and they didn't come with a name on them. I'm not entirely sure what was going on with those. But these are recollections from, there we go. Let me grab that. From Michael's. Sorry. Kind of got a little, yeah, just stick it right there. And I think I'm going to stick with the purple. Just because. And again, this is just adding a layer of interest. There's not much. A lot of that purple came right off there. That worked well. I do have to admit, I like these stamps. They work well. I am new to stamping. In fact, I'm going to a stamping workshop this evening to learn a little bit more about stamping and how to, hopefully, how to just kind of compose with it, or, you know, just ideas of what to do with the various stamps. I'm not good at putting stamps together and making a collage of stamps. I can't do that yet. I'm working on it. I'm getting there. So there. Okay, I am going to pause my video again while I go wash my stamps, because I'm a big believer in washing stamps. So welcome back. I have cleaned up all the stamps, and yeah, I like to wash my stamps. I don't like to have all that ink all over them. I worry that the ink will build up on them and then they'll be useless, and they are so expensive. So I really would much rather just keep them clean, keep them washed. Makes it easy. So I've gathered some focal points, and I have my words, which is the next piece, and these kind of go together, and I don't know that all of them need too much as far as a focal point goes. These I'm going to deal with these 4 first, because they're so small, and I think I'm only going to put the words on them. And I have a whole bunch of words that I got from Emma Parrish, and it was a digital download that I got from her, and I really I spent some time fussy cutting these out. I really like them. Some of them need a little bit more trimming. I'll do that real quick. It doesn't take hardly any time. There. Get rid of those. And we're back to tiny, tiny little stuff. So let me put this right over the, nope, that's not dig it in. I'm getting to the end of this particular one, and so it's getting glue everywhere. And I'm right-handed, so if I'm going to place this like this, I have to do it this way. So maybe we'll just go right across the top there, and we won't try to worry about any other focal point because they're so small. So we have several things on there already, and we'll just kind of go with these. So these are all mostly ones, or this one says tell your story. I like that because I am all about telling stories. I write under the name Diana Hunter, and I have published a number of books. Look for dianahunter.net and you will find me. And I really journaling, getting ideas down, telling stories. When we go on vacation, I'm the journaler. And I think that comes from my dad, in that when we were kids, we would go camping because it was affordable to travel with a camper. You know, camping was only a couple bucks a night. It was, there we go. I'll put that there. So we camped. We camped everywhere. We went all over the eastern seaboard of the United States camping. And it got to the point where every night I would sit down with my little notebook, and there are a lot of these have to do with flowers, and I'm kind of ignoring those because I don't want flowers in here. This one says demure. That might be, yeah, the person who's taking care of this may not be demure. It's a really cool word. Those are, but may not be appropriate here. In any case, I would journal every night. And at one point, my brother, who's 2 years younger than I am, was getting very upset because I didn't have to do the dishes. My mom would wash them, and then he would have to dry them, and I didn't have to do anything. Homemade. There we go. And he would get so angry. And my dad finally said to him, look, what she's doing is important too. She's writing down what we did, and we're going to enjoy having that in future years. And that was life-changing for me, to hear him say that what I was doing was important. That was so cool. Okay, this one has a flower on it. It's a rose, it's a peony. And I don't have a peony thing in here, but I do have some flower ones. I know this is here, we'll just go with flowers. But it was important it was important to my dad that I do this, and he encouraged me to keep that journal. And so I have journals going back 60 years almost 60 years. I'm not quite that old. And of things that we did, places we went to. Okay, I have 3 more to do. And I love it. I love journaling. I love doing the travel journals. I put them up on, I put the journaling part up on Facebook, and I have all sorts of followers who enjoy, or friends, they're not followers, they're friends, who enjoy watching or reading my blogs. It's not really a blog, it's just a travel journal. It's just me, telling what we did that day and having a good time. They're not always good stories. Sometimes we have problems. That has been an issue sometimes. I really think these need something else up here, some other kind of focal point. And I have these other pieces over here. I don't know about rounding the edges on this one. Normally I would do this with my corner rounder, but I'm afraid it would take off too much. So let's see if I can manage to do it. No, I'm terrible at doing this freehand. But we'll see what we can do. And if I ruin it, like I said, it's a digital download. Okay. So I did really well up there, and I did well down here, but I really screwed up here and here. So let's try that again. We're going to end up turning this into a circle or something. Let's turn it into a fussy cut of sorts. There we go. I'm not very good at fussy cutting. It drives me crazy. I don't have the patience for it. So I tend to do fussy cuts that leave a border, because then I don't feel so inept. Okay, this is coming out all right. I kind of like this, which I didn't expect to do. So there we go. There. Okay, now I got these fussy cuts all over the place. Let me get rid of those. All right, let's put that on there. I lost my glue stick. Yeah, so journaling is important to me. I think and that's one of the reasons I have so much journaling space in these. I'm going to be, most of these I'm creating for sale. I will be creating a travel journal for myself. It says Rosebud. That's perfect. Come this summer, we're going to be doing a little bit of traveling, not a lot, but this is mostly a stay home and explore New York State summer, because we're going to be doing some other kind of traveling later on. Okay, I like that. There we go. That one's got something on it. This one's good. So it's just this one. I want to do another. This one's sort of a spray of flowers. All right, here we go. We'll just do a little quickie on this one. We're not going to do a whole lot, because this is not a video about fussy cutting. This is a video about creating some very small journal cards. And it's a little bit more of a challenge than one would think, because so many of the images that you get are huge. Okay, and I am going to take a minute and just kind of darken that one up. I should have darkened the other one as well. This is actually antique blue or something. I forget what color this is. I found Michael's had a sale on a bunch of these because they were turning yellow. And I thought, I don't care. I'm going to use them anyway. I'm going to find a way to use those. So I use them for all my different colors. I have one for every color. It's really kind of neat. And they weren't very expensive. So if they dry out and I have to throw them away, well, then that's what I do. There we go. I like that. So that one's a little bit bright, but that's okay. All right, there we go. That was making a bunch of very tiny journal cards on this Maker Monday. And this is, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I have an Etsy store. If you are interested in purchasing any of my completed journals, you can go to my Etsy store. Thank you for sticking around with me and having a good time. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and like the video. And if you would like to see future videos, click on the little bell next to the subscribe button, and that will get you notifications of any time I put up another video. Till later, play safe, and this is Cindy signing off.